In this video, we're going to do the following problem. Simplify by factoring. Assume that all expressions under the radical represent non-negative numbers. The second part, assume that all the expressions under the radical represent non-negative numbers, lets us know that we don't have to worry about using absolute value notation in our answer. So we're going to simplify by factoring, which means that we're going to find all of the bases that can be raised to a power of 5. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of move over to the side here and factor the number 224. That's divisible by 2, and it can be written as 2 times 112. 112 can be written as 2 times 56. 56 can be written as 2 times 28. 28 can be written as 2 times 14, and 14 can be written as 2 times 7. So 224 is the product of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7, or 2 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power. So we can rewrite this as 2 to the 5th times 7. So going back over here to our original problem, we have the 5th root of 2 to the 5th times 7. Now thinking about how many factors are in x to the 17th, there's 17 of them, and we want to group those in sets of 5. So we can write that as x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th. That's now 5, 10, 15 factors, so we need 2 more to be equal to our original expression. So we now have x to the 17th written in a different form, and y to the 10th can be rewritten as y to the 5th times y to the 5th. So here we have y multiplied by itself 5 times, y multiplied by itself 5 times, and so together that's y multiplied by itself 10 times. So that's an okay way to rewrite y to the 10th. And now we're going to rewrite this breaking up the different factors into radicals. So this is the 5th root of 2 to the 5th times the 5th root of 7 times the 5th root of x to the 5th times the 5th root of x to the 5th times the 5th root of x to the 5th times the 5th root of x squared times the 5th root of y to the 5th times the 5th root of y to the 5th. In the next step, we're going to simplify all of these radicals that have a base under the radical that's raised to the 5th power. Because what does this statement mean, the 5th root of 2 raised to the 5th power? Well, it means that we're looking for the number that can be multiplied by itself 5 times to give us 2 to the 5th power. And that number is 2, because 2 to the 5th power is going to be 2 to the 5th. The 5th root of 7 is going to stay the 5th root of 7 because there's no way for us to write that number in a simpler form. The 5th root of x to the 5th is x. The 5th root of x to the 5th is x, and the 5th root of x to the 5th is x. The 5th root of x squared also needs to stay because there's no way for us to simplify that any further. The 5th root of y to the 5th is going to be y, and the 5th root of y to the 5th is going to be y. So now we'll reorganize these so that we have the factors that don't involve a radical in the front, and the factors that do involve a radical are going to be at the end. and that gives us this expression, 2 times x times x times x times y times the fifth root of 7 times the fifth root of x squared. So now writing this in a simpler form gives us 2 times x cubed times y squared times the fifth root of 7x squared. And that's our final answer.